Assalamu alaikum. Listen to this sound. Okay, you have heard the murmur. Can you tell me the name of this murmur? Okay, I am giving another clue. It is pansystolic murmur, usually heard at the apical area. Okay, I will tell at the end of my video. Okay, now I would like to discuss about the important portion of the psychiatry called ego defenses. There are some immature defenses, there are some mature defenses. Okay, start with the immature one because we become immature first, then we become mature. Okay, acting out. Acting out is subconsciously coping with the stressor or emotional conflict using actions rather than reflections or feeling. What does if we give an example like a patient skips therapy appointment after deep discomfort from dealing with his past. So suppose somebody has carcinoma and he or she is on chemotherapy and she knows the pain of the chemotherapy. So she intentionally or he intentionally skips therapy appointments after deep discomfort from dealing with his past. Denial, avoiding the awareness of small painful reality. A patient with cancer plans a full-time work schedule despite being warned of significant fatigue during chemotherapy. So she or he is denying of his present condition, like he has carcinoma, he is on chemotherapy and it will make him very fatigued, so he or she need to take rest, but he is planning lots of things to do, so that is denial. Okay, displacement. Displacement is a redirection of the emotion or impulses to a neutral person or object. We know that we display in a projection. Display in a projection. I will tell this is the mnemonic: displacement, projection, displacement versus projection. Okay. After being um, he is being scolded by his principal, then the teacher goes to home, start yelling at uh, his wife, and his wife start yelling at its kids. So this is the displacement. Dissociation, temporary drastic changes in the personality. Is the dissociation, temporary drastic change in the personality, memory, consciousness, or motor behavior to avoid emotional stress. Patient has incomplete or no memory of traumatic event. A survivor of sexual abuse see the abuser and suddenly becomes numb and detached. So it's a just temporary. Dissociation means temporary. Dissociation means drastic change in the personality. Dissociation, drastic change in the personality, and it is temporary. Like if somebody sees his abuser, he will become numb on that particular moment. It is quite normal. It's an immature defense. Okay, fixation, fix the regress. Okay, a college student continues to suck her thumb when studying for stressful exam. So this is fixation, partially remaining at more childish level development. Fixation is his fixation means he is on the childish level. Behavior is very childish. An idealization, like a patient boasts about his physicians and his accomplishment while ignoring any flaws. Like he is telling that he is idealizing the physicians, experienced extremely positive thoughts of self and others while ignoring negative thoughts. So, positive about somebody, negative about everybody looks like idealization. Identification, largely unconscious assumption of the characteristics, tra- uh, traits, qualities, and other person or group. A resident starts putting her stethoscope in her pocket like her favorite attending. So he's putting her stethoscope in her pocket is an identification. He is following somebody. Identification instead of wearing it around her neck like before. So his identification means he is just doing as his mentor is doing. And intellectualization, a patient diagnosed with cancer discuss the pathophysiology of the disease. A patient is diagnosed with a cancer, discuss the pathophysiology of the disease. This is intellectualization. Or he is looking for chemotherapeutic drugs, or he is looking for some sort of chemotherapeutic drugs like recent chemotherapeutics or trial based chemotherapeutic drugs. Isolation of effects, separating feelings from idea, or even describing murder in graphic detail with no emotional response. Describing murder in graphic detail with no emotional response. Passive aggression, demonstrating hostile feeling in a non confrontational manner, showing indirect opposition. A disgruntled employee is repeatedly late to work but won't admit it. Uh, won't admit it is a way to get back at the manager. Display in a projector, attributing an unacceptable internal impulse or to an external source. A man who wants to cheat on his wife accuses his wife of being unfaithful. So he is just throwing his guilt to others. He is just what he wants to do is putting blame on others. This is a projection. And rationalization, like an employee who was recently fired claims that the job was not important anyway, so he's rationalizing the immediate condition. And the uh, reaction formation, replacing the worded of idea or feeling with an emphasis on its opposite, like reaction formation versus sublimation, which is a massive difference. A stepfather treats a child that he resents and excessive nurturing and overprotection. So kind of weird. uh, regression, fixation. A previously toilet trained child, starts bedwetting. This is the regression. And fixation, like he is carrying the childish behavior, that is fixation. Carrying childish behavior is fixation, and become child again, that is regression. Like toilet trained child becomes toilet trained child starts bedwetting. And the repression, a 20-year-old does not remember, going to counseling during his parents during does not remember going to counseling during his parents divorce 10 years earlier. Splitting, like believing that people are either all good or all bad at different times due to intolerance of in ambiguity. common in borderline personality disorder. Borders split the countries. This is the mnemonic, that borders split the country. So borderline personality is splitting. A patient says that all the nurses are cold and insensitive, but the physicians are warm and friendly. The mature defenses are sash, sublimation, altruism, suppression, and humor. Replacing an unacceptable wish with a course of action that is similar to the wish but socially acceptable. Sublimation versus reaction. A teenager's aggression towards her parents because of high expectation is channeled into an excelling uh, in sports. Is channeled into an excelling in sports. So he is channeling his aggression to in the sports and doing great. Okay, altruism. A mafia boss makes a large donation to his charity, like alleviating negative feelings via unsolicited generosity, which provides a gratification versus reaction formation. And suppression and athletic focus on other tasks to prevent worrying about an important upcoming match. So he's focusing on the task to other tasks to prevent or suppressing in on upcoming match. And finally, the humor. A nervous medical student jokes about the boards. A nervous medical student who is going to give exam, he is talking, he is joking about the boards. He's joking about the boards. So that is humor. Okay, now yes, well, inner circle. Okay, I have already discussed this. Okay, which ego defense is defined as involuntary withholding an idea or feeling from conscious awareness. So it is repression. It's an immature defense. So the 20-year-old does not remember going to counseling. So the first uh, so this is repression. Repression, this one. So repression is involuntary withholding an idea or feeling. A 20-year-old does not remember going to counseling during his parents divorce 10 years earlier. Okay, so this ego defense is voluntary is defined as involuntary withholding an idea or feeling from conscious awareness. Okay, now next, which ego defense is defined as largely unconscious assumption. So largely unconscious assumption of the characteristics is identification, immature defense of another group's person or group. A resident starts putting his stethoscope in his pocket like his favorite attendant. So largely unconscious assumption. If it is conscious awareness, it is repression. Conscious awareness is repression. Which ego defense is defined as remaining at a more childish level of development. It's fixation. And which ego defense is separating feelings from ideas and events. It's an isolation of affect, mature, immature defect. Like immature defect describing murder details in a graphic detail with no emotional response. So isolation of affect, like describing murder graphic detail with no emotional response. Okay, for this word is very involuntary withholding the idea from conscious awareness If it is conscious, that is repression. If it is largely unconscious, then the identification, unconscious identification, conscious is repression. So that's all about the ego defenses, ego defenses, immature defenses, mature defenses. Now again my intro, where you can hear the murmur. Can you tell me the answer now? Okay, that is MR. The MR is pansystolic murmur based heart at the aortic area. That's it. Hope you like my video, and please subscribe and share it to your friends. That's all.